evening, Miss.
Man sieht's kaum.
Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan.
Was hat der ein rotes Auge?
I am Karina Billow. I don't need any doctor. The rats. Where are the rats?
Miss, you don't seem well at all. Are you afraid of rats? Has one bitten you?
No, it's me who bites them. Tasty, juicy,
Es?
rats. I can't stop eating them. Help me, please.
Ja,
Help me to disobey
das Problem habe ich auch, ja. Das Problem habe ich auch. Ja, was ist mit ihnen geschehen?
What happened to you?
the rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones.
Was?
Their juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate.
Psycho.
Why do you worry about rats so much?
The voice in my head. He forces me to do so.
Ist die ein
Drink their blood,
Vampir?
he said. Eat their flesh.
Do you feel compelled to obey that voice, Miss Billow? Even if you're loath to submit to it?
Yes. Please. Help.
Tell me about the voice in your head. Who is it? Can you describe it? Is it someone you know? Someone you met?
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me, or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, Doctor.
What the fuck?
Tell me about yourself, Miss Billow. What do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm hungry.
Das ist ein guter Beruf.
Have you got something for me? Blood, perhaps? Can you give me blood, Dr. Reed?
Don't you remember who you are, Miss? What you did for work?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before. Before. It does not matter anymore. I'm so hungry.
What is the local news hereabouts, Miss Billow?
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows. Whispers in the dark. Pestilence. Suffering. Death.
Ach, die ist aber gesund. Dann ist ja nix. Dann hat sie ja nix. Aber ist noch unentdeckt.
I must go now. Goodbye, Miss Billow.
Ich gehe mal lieber. Ja, Psycho? Geil. Jo. Ja, ich gehe da mal, ne? Okay, ich komme schon später mal rein. Später. Die sind mir voraus. Sollte man die Quest verfolgen und nicht hier umirren. Aber hier geht's in jede Richtung, weißt du, was ich meine? Hier ist auch zu. Es geht hier überall hin. Ich kann auch nichts dafür. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob wir hier schon waren. Ich gehe wieder zurück. Viel zu groß die Stadt hier. Dann die Leute wieder zu finden, ne? Das, oh Gott. Warum hat man nicht das so gemacht, dass man die dann über die Karte suchen kann? Das ist ja Katastrophe, ey. So, Quest, komm. Der führt mich da rein, okay. Da ist nichts. Okay. Dann wollen wir mal. Let's watch again. Oh. Ist jemand wohl ein Vampir?
The Ascalon Club only summons or ostracizes. What is your business tonight?
I received an invitation I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Der ist doch Vampir, oder?
Then, Dr. Reed. Please proceed. Lord
Oh
Redgrave
ja,
is waiting on you
das
upstairs.
sind ein paar Tote, okay. Okay, was hast du hier gemacht?
Welcome to the Ascalon Club.
Ja, 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 das sieht schön hier
There has
aus.
been quite a battle here.
Ja. Ich
I'm
beklau
sure
dich.
the Ascalon Club has the money to replace the furniture.
Komischer Typ. Komischer Typ. Warte, ich sag noch was. Sure, stimmt. Geht's ja hier rein. Oh, okay, Geschichte. Mhm. Sonst ist hier nichts. Eine Büste? Ah ja. Ah ja. Aha. So geht das. Hier kommen wir wieder raus. Will ich nicht. Oh, guter Teil. Was? Was? Okay, er hat nur 10, weißt du schon. Vielleicht kann man ihn upgraden. Da ist zu. Da renne ich die mal rum. Ein Irrer. Den auch, what the fuck? Warum rennt der hier rum? Ist der irre? Irre. Ja, ich bin irre. Hier blinkt aber ganz schön schön. Schön. Herrlich. Gut, 4 Schillinge. Ach, wir gehen wieder zurück. Oder blinkt da noch was? Ah, ist okay. Hey, achso.
Good evening.
Oh, Charakterdesigns 2.0. Guten Tag, alle Vampire. Hochrangige Vampire.
My good friends, if I may have your attention. Behold our visitor, the good Dr. Reed. Newborn of blood so pure and strong that even my friend Fergal Bansher was no match for him. Here. Come forward, young Ekon, for we have so much to discuss. Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reed. I am Lord Redgrave, Earl of Bristol and Chairman of this exclusive association.
Lord Redgrave.
At last we meet. I've been eager to make your acquaintance. I've heard some astounding things about you.
Ist ja schon cool, wie die Kamera mal dann sich mitbewegt, ne? Und dann näher kommt.
My lord. Lady Ashbury expressed your wish to meet me.
Yes. The lady has always been a useful acquaintance, though not always reliable. Is she a good friend of yours?
Ich bewundere sie. Sie ist eine gute Freundin. Sie ist von Nutzen gewesen.
She's a close friend. And I'm honored that she feels the same about me.
The centuries have taught me never to trust a woman completely, especially if she is a mortal. Too prone to emotions, if you ask me. Too fickle when it comes to important decisions.
My lord, do not expect me to speak ill of Lady Ashbury.
Of course not, and I praise your loyalty. Would you offer the same fidelity to the Empire?
What do you mean?
I speak of the Skull Plague that threatens London and the country. You have been on the front line in the East End, but the time has come to open up a second front here.
The epidemic has escaped the quarantine. You have new cases of the outbreak.
We don't know for certain, but we cannot allow the disease to threaten the prominent heads of Great Britain.
Warum jetzt? Warum ich? Warum plötzlich so freundlich? Warum ich? Warum jetzt?
Why do you suddenly need me?
The Ascalon Club only recruits the best.
Also,
You definitely fit the bill.
das gleiche, oder?
Your scientific and medical reputation alone would qualify you as a candidate.
You want me to find possible sources of the outbreak in the West End. Is that it?
Straight to the point, like all eager newborns. We shall have time to talk about all this, Dr. Reed. But first, I should like to get to know you better.
Talk? Is that the only reason you asked me here?
Well, no. I also wanted to meet the intriguing Ekon, who made such a powerful progeny of his sister. You have not learned the name of your maker, am I correct?
Geht sie nichts an? Sprechen Sie nicht über mit...
No, I haven't.
Have no embarrassment, Dr. Reed. We all make mistakes. But whatever your lineage, you are definitely Ascalon material.
What do you mean?
I would like you to become a member of the Ascalon Club, and to serve me as such.
Before I accept, I have so many questions.
Please ask.
Please ask. Was bringt die Mitgliedschaft mit sich?
What is the Ascalon Club's express purpose?
We follow the credo of William Marshall, the greatest knight who ever lived. As was he, we are sworn to protect the British Empire.
Oh Gott, ey.
What
Jetzt
does
20.000 Fragen.
Ascalon was the lance wielded by St. George, glorious patron saint of England when he slew the dragon. And like that lance, we pierce the hearts of all our nation's enemies.
William Marshall founded the Ascalon Club.
Not exactly. William Marshall granted me immortality, and I founded the club a few years later. The good knight has been gone for so long.
Ich habe einen von ihnen getötet.
I killed Fergal, who claimed to be one of yours, sent to cleanse the East End of all skulls. Will his death be an issue?
Do not worry. My priorities have changed. Fergal was a zealous servant of mine, but like any servant, he had his limitations and is readily replaced if necessary.
Komm, mach mal.
I agree to join the club.
This is good news. Good news indeed in these crucial times.
Sein Abschluss
Let's form
übersprungen.
the assembly formally and proceed with your initiation.
My initiation?
Fear not. Nothing fancy nor dangerous. It is just that we, the members of Ascalon, believe that tradition and custom are the backbone of this country. My fellow members, dear friends, please gather and welcome this Ekon as one of our own.
Is he worthy? Is his blood pure?
Okay.
Well, speak, Dr. Reed, in front of the most sacred blood. The blood of our beloved William Marshall. Speak now. Will you serve and protect the crown as he did?
Yes, I will.
Then, young Ekon, it is time to testify with your blood. It is time to sign the Book of Allegiance. I know it's awfully gothic and a tad pedantic, but England's traditions are the backbone of our nation.
Müssen wir mit unserem Blut schreiben? Ja.
Delightful. Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reed. Take your place among the bearers of the lance.
One of us! One of us!
Kann man jetzt mit dem sprechen? Ich würde mal mit dem hier sprechen, der ist da so abseits, weiß ich nicht. Ist er ja auch ein Vampir? Das ist ungewohnt, mir geht das gut, mir gefällt das nicht.
It's quite unsettling. As a doctor, I am more used to being the observer than the subject observed.
Do not be alarmed. The Ascalon Club has a tried and tested policy for choosing its initiates.
May I ask?
Das ist doch kein Vampir mehr, oder?
Why would you be interested?
Well, as you seem to be the only man in the room with a beating heart, you
okay.
quite a bit of attention yourself.
Ah, vampire senses never cease to fascinate me. They dwarf those of mere mortals. I am Aloysius Dawson, by the way.
Okay, Sie sind ein Mitglied des Clubs.
Are you a member of the club?
Yes, I am. And I have been for many years. And will be until the day I die.
Sind Sie krank?
Are you sick?
Personally, I consider my advancing years are a sickness in itself. My body is slowly abandoning me, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about it?
It's not really my place to give you such information. I am merely a mortal member, and a dying one at that.
Keine Angst vor Vampiren?
Are you not afraid? You are surrounded by vampires.
Sir, it's for that very reason that I joined the club in the first place.
Is not the nature of this club a secret shared by only a...
My dear Dr. Reed, I have spent years and a fortune precisely to gather that kind of information.
Okay.
So you asked for membership?
I have been a member of many clubs in many countries. But I must admit, this one is...
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
I would not dare speak of our chairman without his consent.
Okay.
Mr. Dawson? Of Dawson and Dawson?
Dawson und Dawson
The
und Dawson.
wealthiest man in England. It is a pleasure to meet such a prominent figure of London.
A withering London figurehead, to be precise.
Are you sick, Mr. Dawson? I am a doctor, you know.
My case is beyond the scope of traditional medicine. I have spent fortunes on the world's most competent doctors to arrive at that diagnostic conclusion.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Should I suppose that you're here in search of some form of immortality?
Absolutely not. I'm here to implement my plan to save the city I was born in. To cast out the ghastly evil that has us all on our knees.
Ach du Scheiße.
What do you know about the Guard of...
I should not say this, but I admire their commitment. This is what the nation needs, right?
Would you help them?
No. There is a time for such methods. But brute force will not be enough to fight this plague. We have to think.
But they are our enemies.
They are not mine, Dr. Reed.
What is the situation like in this part of town?
I am sure Lord Redgrave will enlighten you more effectively than I.
Money cannot solve every problem. This mysterious epidemic is going to require more than money can buy.
You're right. Money is nothing unless one has the will to wield it. I have a plan, sir. A radical one that will save all that is essential in London.
What is your plan, then?
Quarantine and barricades are futile. What we need is a wall. A formidable, unscalable wall to isolate the deserving from the infected masses.
By doing so, you would create 2 separate ghettos. What if the disease gets past the wall? The results would be disastrous.
Not if we eliminate all suspected cases of infection as soon as they appear. A necessary sacrifice.
Are you not mistaking sacrifice for summary execution?
Why do you care? Are you not a vampire? Removed from all mortal concerns? Decisiveness is what the city needs. And it needs it now.
Viel mehr sprechen, ne? Ach, mit denen kann man nicht sprechen. Ah, okay.
But I'm shocked no one took the time to clean
Ding.
up the mess
That
inside
went
the
well,
club
did
since
it
we
not?
were attacked.
It is always useful to bolster the troops' morale, especially before a difficult battle.
You have the makings of a general, my lord.
I was, though very long ago, well, not quite a general, but a proud defender of the crown.
So why did you really want to meet me?
Straight to the point again, young Econ. All right, let's talk, you and I, Lance Sparrow.
I'm listening, my lord.
According to my spies, you have worked with Dr. Edgar Swansea on the epidemic, and your findings were quite alarming.
Do you know Edgar Swansea?
Not personally, but I've been told he has some sort of...
Does it bother you that I consider him my good friend?
As long as you reveal nothing of the club's inner workings, why should I forbid you engaging in conversation with the good Dr. Swansea?
You were spying on me?
Not personally.
Nicht persönlich, nicht persönlich.
But once he found you, Fergal kept me informed. Until you put an end to his mission.
Who was Fergal? I don't see him sipping...
Fergal Banshire was my squire of sorts. Even before becoming that magnificent beast, he was a brute.
No, I mean, what was he? He was clearly no ordinary vampire.
No, he was a Volcod. All muscles and instinct. Quite the rare breed. Ferociously territorial. Mortals often mistake them for werewolves.
You do know I killed him.
Yes.
Will you bear ill will towards me for his death?
Of course not. Your victory was quite impressive and courageous. You earned my
Okay.
Yes, I'm convinced the recent invasion of frenzied Scals in London is directly linked to the epidemic. This is not the Spanish flu, but something else.
I would be glad to hear more of your discoveries, Dr. Reed, but for now, my main concern is the security of London's inhabitants, both mortal and immortal.
What do you mean?
Alarmed by the epidemic, the Guard of Prewen has started a war against us British vampires. To appease the situation, we must eradicate the Scals.
I have met peaceful and wise Scals. To exterminate them means we are no better than vampire hunters.
Scals are hideous, shameful creatures that give all Econ a bad name.
So, what do you want me to do?
I want you to investigate the city thoroughly. I have reason to fear there are cases of contagion in this part of town. Our absolute priority is to find and cleanse them.
And how would you like me to proceed?
By all means necessary, Dr. Reed. You are now a member of the Ascalon Club and you have carte blanche. Interrogate the locals, follow all the leads you find, and get results.
Nee. Bandstufe.
Lord Redgrave can play with the brave all he wants.
Kapitel 4. Familienporträts. So, tschüss, ah. Tschüss, gell?
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then.
Ja, tschüss, gell? Gell? Tschüss. Ah, ja. Der Ascalon Club. Na, schade, dass hier immer Ladebildschirme sind. Das ist schade. Wäre heutzutage nicht so.
I think
Aber ich will nicht
Redgrave
sagen.
just suggested I was sired by an ancient vampire.
Ah, ich wüsste schon, wo eine wäre.
Good evening, Miss Ashby.
And good evening.
Haben wir hier was? Nee. Was ist mit ihr? Ist nicht krank.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell.
Ja, da bin ich
No
raus.
answer when I knocked.
Oder?
It's the Mullaneys, a nice family who live in a big house near the park in the eastern part of this neighborhood.
Ah, nee. Oder?
Goodbye.
She's been
Ist nicht hier, ne? So, hey, 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 hey.
Good evening, Doc.
Ah, haben wir hier? Nein, haben wir nicht.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
Not really. Wait, now that you mention it, I don't see the McPhersons in my favorite restaurants. They love delicate meals too, you understand.
Thank you. It may be nothing, but I'll investigate anyway. Where do they live?
They have a house in the southern part of the district, somewhere north of the railway bridge. There is a courtyard, if I remember rightly.
Goodbye, Miss...
Okay. Haben wir denn die anderen Nummer? Haben wir auch nicht so viele gefunden, ne? Hier sind nämlich noch jede Menge Fragezeichen. Ja, ist er krank? Und dann gehe ich nochmal zu ihm hin. Oh, scheiß Topf, ey. Ach, mit ihm können wir auch nicht gehen.
I understand exactly. Good.
Mhm.
Do you need medical help?
You would say
Don't worry.
I cannot.
Goodbye.
So. Hat er Medizin bekommen, ne? Bin hier nebenan. Direkt mein Butler. Butler. Hat er was zu sagen? Also.
Yes, sir.
Aha. Einmal. Hier ist nichts. Ah, warte mal.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reed was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
Okay.
I'm currently investigating sources of the epidemic in this part of town. Do you know anything useful?
Not really, except all the McPhersons' servants resigned a few days ago. They feared becoming infected, they said.
The McPhersons? Where do they live?
I think it's a rich house near the railway bridge in the southern part of the district.
Boah, das alles merken, ne?
Thank you.
Your bed...
Da hinten noch der eine Typ. Was macht denn der da? Mit sich selber am
Good
Reden.
evening, old chap.
I won't.
Warte mal. So.
Clarence, why have you distributed leaflets about vampires all across the West End?
I have to warn everybody about them. They've killed thousands of people already, unnoticed thanks to the epidemic. We are all in danger here.
Vampires in London? Come on, Clarence. Who's going to believe that?
Hä?
I'm not mad, Jonathan. You have to believe me. I know they are real. They're all around us, even as we speak.
Clarence, you've always been a reliable and a good friend to me. If you say you saw a vampire, then I believe you.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for your trust. You don't know what that means to me.
It's all right. But if you want my help, you have to explain exactly what happened.
The first time it was in Rouen. I saw an officer drink the blood of a soldier. I saw its teeth. Saw it bite. It was a vampire.
Okay. Ach du Scheiße, viel.
Tell me what you have discovered about vampires, Clarence.
They've always been here. And if you search for long enough, you realize others know about these devils too. I'm not alone.
Have you shared your research with anybody else?
No. But I've published my leaflets all across the city.
What do you mean you're not alone? Who have you met?
The Guard of Prewin. The Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole. Ichabod Throgmorton. Those names always pop up when you dig...
Have you spoken with any of them?
No. With the quarantine, it's almost impossible to leave the West End. But as a doctor, maybe you could, Johnny.
Are you asking me to help you prove the existence of vampires, Clarence?
Yes, Johnny. Please, gather all the information you can find about vampires and bring it to me. You're the only friend I have left. I need you.
Clarence, tell me about the vampire you saw in France.
I was enjoying my leave in Rouen. I left the bar. Took a shortcut back to the barracks. I saw it in a back alley. An officer in a stained uniform, biting into a soldier's neck.
But you were drunk, weren't you? Are you sure these two men were not just kissing?
Please don't insult me. I hid, and I saw him leave. Then I saw the body, drained of all blood. I've seen the same marks here in London since I've returned.
Wie kommt er denn drauf, dass sie Vampire sind? Also, verstehe es nicht.
Ever see that officer again?
No. He wore the uniform of the Royal Warwickshire Regiment. I did some research, but found no trace of him. He probably stole it from a previous victim.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Can you help me?
Infection is everywhere these days. But if you ever go to the park near that swanky house belonging to...
Junge, wie soll ich mir alle Namen
What
merken?
about the Mullaneys? What about their house?
Not enough noise for a big family with children. Not enough movement. Closed doors. What is going on in there?
Okay, danke.
You need some...
Danke, Bruder. Bruder, danke. Ich gehe jetzt mal hier lang. Hier müssen wir sogar lang. Soll ich hier rein? Nee. Hä? 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 Okay, hier kommen wir jetzt zurück. Okay. Dann gehen wir zurück. Wo ist denn die Olle? Die war da auch hier irgendwo. Hier kann man da rein, ne?